Hey everybody, happy Monday. Let's try to climb the standard ladder this week without spending an arm and a leg of 40,000 dust. Let's go right into it. Win rates are after the patch that came out. That just affected a couple of cards. Demon Hunter is the #1 in the win rates. I'm not a fan of that deck, but if you are, it is a low-cost deck. We will not be talking about that one. Mage is #2. So I guess the nerfs did make some little adjustments. Paladin is #3, Warlock is #4. So, you know, Paladin has the multitude of options for Flood and for hand buff, for what have you. Warlock has Insanity and Pain, and then Shaman. Shaman's #5 and it's creeping up. There's some good options for Shaman. Only problem is they're a little expensive, a lot expensive. But anyway, let's go over some of these decks. Archetype report. So Death Knights only has Corpsicle and Razzle. I've said it before. Plague Death Knight is just gone. Frost is good. Frost is also cheap, so it's a good option for you. Demon Hunter. The only thing you have is Pirate Demon Hunter. You're not playing anything else. This is crazy. If I'm not wrong at this, it says last 7 days. Look at Druid. Druid's not doing so good. This has got to be some sort of anomaly here. I will look into it a little bit more because that just doesn't seem copacetic to me. Hunter has multiple options. We're going to talk about one. Spell, Token Hunter, Secret Hunter, and Highlander Hunter. Highlander Hunter is awesome. It's just too expensive, not for this conversation. Mage has Big Spell, and if you're not playing that anymore because it did drop in favor, 100% dropped in favor. You have Elemental, and then you have other. We'll have to check this other out. I'll bet you it's just an amalgamation of some of those other Big Spell or Spell Mage or Elemental Mage. That's got to be what that is. Also, because it says 63,000 games. That's what I'm thinking. Paladin, like I said, hand buff, Flood. Mining Paladin is back up. Taurus Paladin is back down. There's some stuff going on with Taurus Paladin that might go back and forth a little bit more. 49.8%, it's essentially 50% win rate if you're thinking about it. But mining, listen, there's a hand buff / excavate package that's really fun. I think Tito Santana was playing it like crazy amounts the past 2 months, and it looks like maybe it's back. Maybe, we'll see. I've been having a lot of fun with hand buff Paladin this weekend. Zarimi Priest, that's about the only thing. Rogue, Weapon Rogue. We're going to talk about Weapon Rogue. I want to talk about it again because it's super, super cheap, and then Miracles at 50%. Nothing else is good for Rogue right now. And yeah, 36.9% for Mining Rogue. No, thank you. Shaman. I mean, Shaman just has so much opportunity here. It's just everything is just so expensive. Look, Pirate Shaman. When was the last time we talked about Pirate Shaman? When was the last time you talked about Pirate Shaman? It's a pretty big deal. Rainbow Shaman, Big Shaman. Yeah, if these weren't as expensive as it was, Shaman enjoyers would be eating good. Warlock, like I said, it's Insanity or it's in Pain. Nothing else. Nothing else. And then Warrior is just not doing too great. Now, it's weird, too, because I'm looking at Highlander Warrior, and it says 43.8%. So I dug in a little bit more, and look at this. The popularity has just jumped since the patch hit. So it went from, 10% to like 22, 24%, but the win rate is just garbage. So that's interesting. There's a lot more people playing, Highlander Warrior right now from bronze through gold. And this is crazy amount. That's #1 in popularity. I only put last 7 days. Remember, we're all talking about last 7 days. Look at the percentage. And then this is the drop off here. Look, Big Spell Mage. Bronze 10 through bronze, well, all of bronze. It's like 4%. It's nothing. It's very little. That's really interesting. You would think that maybe I should jump up some of my budgets. Maybe 5,000 dust on the budget side is not enough. Maybe you're all just a bunch of high rollers and I didn't know about it. I don't know. But Highlander Warrior going up that high in just a couple of days is pretty interesting. All right, we're going to talk about 4 decks right now. We're going to talk about, first of all, we're going to talk about Spell Token Hunter. This one's at a 61.7% win rate. It's 3,600 dust. I put this on here, not as much because, it is wildly popular or what have you. It's just because it has a lot of opportunity. And if you're playing you know, in the ladder, you're going to see a lot of the same type of decks and the same archetypes. Because this one's not that popular, because it's consistent, maybe you'll trip up your opponent, not expecting to see it. Yeah, you got your Arcane Shot, you got Awakening Tremors, that makes those worms for you. Got the Bananas, Miracle Salesman, you know, Shimmer Shot. It's just, you know, a spell token hunter where you're sitting there putting the little 1/1s or 1/2s or 2/1s on the board and then using those spells to make them stronger. You've got Tracking, which will discover a card in your deck. You've got those monkeys. Who doesn't love those monkeys? Vicious Slither Spear. Observer of Myths is where you're going to run through. So after you summon a minion with more attack than this, give all friendly minions +1 attack. So you know what you're doing with that one. You're trying to get as many high level or high attack minions on the board to make everything +1. Patchwork Pals is amazing. Get all 3 animal companions and they cost 1 less. You got Quick Shot. If your hand is empty, draw a card. On this deck, you might see playing this because your hand might be empty because they're really cheap. Look, the highest level is the highest card that you're playing in this deck is the 7-mana Ziliax. And this one has Pylon, so it gives your other minions +1/+1, costs 1 less. So it won't even cost you 7. Mantle Shaper rounds things out with cost 1 less for each spell you've cast while holding this. And then look at the win rates. I mean, the only thing you really got to worry about is Highlander Warrior. Okay. So, based on what we just saw there in the popularity thing, Highlander Warrior is pretty high up on the food chain for these levels. But for the rest of them, being as, you know, win rate good for you, if you will, yeah, the win rate on these is Death Knight, 61.7%, Demon Hunter, 66.7%, 76.2% on other hunters, 77.8% on any of the warlocks that you're seeing. Give this one a shot, especially for 3,600 dust. And there's some good cards in here. And some of these cards, I believe, are common or something you should absolutely have. Yeah, you should absolutely have some of these cards right now if you've been playing for the past couple of months. Definitely check this one out. 3,600 dust. Next up, Weapon Rogue. I'm talking about this because it's not going anywhere. And look at this. You know, this one creeped up pretty quickly. September 13th, it was at a 0.04%, and then boom, it just exploded. A little bit of bottoming out a little tiny bit, you know, just leveling a little bit. The win rate is pretty high. It's not 70% high, but it's still up there. 61, 58, 58, 59%. It's pretty good. And it's essentially just making a very, very powerful weapon in your hand. Oh, not in your hand. Grab the weapon, use the weapon, and then make the weapon really, really big, and then smack your opponent in the face a couple of times, and then you've won the game. It's exactly what we talked about the other day. This one's at 2,160 dust, 59.9% win rate. That's super cheap for this type of deck. Listen, Rogue does weapon things. Rogue does crazy things where you can scam out cards. So I think with this deck being built, there's some other stuff you can mess around with this. There is a couple of options there. I'm not going to include any of those options right now. But for this one being 2160 dust and having a high win rate against a bunch of other ones, the only one you're really worried about is Shaman. Understand. Demon Hunter, Pirate, is just so fast, and then Mage, but you're not seeing a lot of that on the Bronze through Gold ladder. So this one is an opportunity, and I've seen multiple instances, at least 3 instances in the last week that I've talked about of people hitting Legend with this deck. So you can do it. Next up, we will talk about Razzle Death Knight. Now, I like to talk about decks that are below 5,000 dust, but this one is a little bit of a bait. This one's at 5,300 dust. It's at 62% win rate. And the reason I'm talking about it is because I don't think that you need one of these cards. So Reska the Pit Boss, if this deck did not include Reska, I would absolutely be okay with it. I've played this deck a lot, and I feel that I've needed this card maybe once. Reska's not needed. I would actually use either another spell if you want to, or even the Gorgon's Ormu to throw that dragon in that creates the piece of cheese, that creates the minions. Just throw that in your deck because I never needed to win the game with Reska. That's just my personal opinion, and this will lower it to 5,000 dust. And essentially, what you're doing with Razzle Death Knight is you're trying to sit there and you're trying to work on your Razzle Dazzler to get this jumped up and bumped up as much as possible. This one's summon a random 5-cost minion, repeat for each spell school you've cast this game. So maybe if you don't include Reska, throw another one of the different spell schools if you can. But yeah, you want to make this super, super big. You've got Horn of Winter, which is Frost. You got Miracle Salesman to do tradable. Brittlebone Buccaneer to make your Death Rattles have Reborn, which is good. Busy Peon, Death Rattles, your next location costs 2 less. Why do we want that one? You know why we want that one. Down with the Ship, deal 3 damage, shuffle 2 random plagues in your deck. This is helpful for you. I use Hell Yeah in some of mine if you wanted to, but it's not absolutely necessary. Dreadhound Handler. So you see all the Death Rattle things. There's a Frost spell. There's an Undead. There's the Fire spells. You could use multiple of those. You have the Mining Casualties to throw stuff on board, which will help you. Chill Fallen will help you draw cards. Hardcore Cultist, deal 2 damage. The finale is obviously to all enemies. Natural Talent, get a random Naga and a random spell, and they cost 2 less. This is awesome. And then you'll get, a random spell that you could absolutely use. I would also consider, too, like if you don't have Reska and you have 2 natural talents, throw 2 of those in, or any other spell that hits that spell school, because like I said, you want to get Razzle Dazzler up as super, as big as possible, because a bunch of 5-cost minions are pretty good. Buttons is just in there to draw a spell of each spell school, so whatever you have in the deck, you do not have a lot of spells in hand, this will help you draw some of them. Horizon's Edge, well, this is why you wanted that Busy Peon, to be able to make this a lot lower. You're going to lose minions. These minions are super, super small, so you're going to absolutely lose them. And then Marrow Manipulator is going to keep those corpses going that you can spend to deal 2 damage to a random enemy for each. So besides the little chip damage that you're going to do with your minions, you're also building up something to have them hit. This card will hit your opponent if they don't have a lot of minions for, 2 damage times 5. You do the math. I'm too tired to do the math. But Razzle Dazzler is awesome. And like I said, Reska's in here, but I didn't use it. There's a lot of options for you on that one. Gorgon's Ormo would be the first one I pick because it is a really, really good card, and you should have had that on your rewards track. And then, yeah, while we're not talking about we're not talking about Big Spell Mage right now because I think it's kind of worn out a little bit of its welcome. We're going to talk about Elemental Mage, and this one's just super cheap, 1,320 dust. It's winning games at 65% in the past couple of weeks now, and it's still good. It's still good. The win rate is still awesome. The popularity went down a little bit, and, part of the reason the popularity went down is because everybody was playing Big Spell Mage, and this is also super, super easy to pilot. It's just essentially, elementals and elementals and elementals. And you play the elementals, and the elementals work with the other elementals that you've played before, or you could play now. You could do some crazy stuff. Look, Saloon Brewmaster's in here for multiple reasons. It's for Lamplighter. Multiple time Lamplighter's awesome. It's also for Overflow Surger if you've already got that stuff taken care of and you already got a big board. It's also for Triple Wick Twister, if you want to do that. It's pretty awesome as well. And then listen, don't sleep on this one. This one's awesome. You got big minions that are in front of you that your opponent just threw down. Their attack is huge. You could go ahead and use this multiple times because it has miniaturize to get that health. Fun thing with this is my wife plays mage all the time, and she's literally, the other day she had a deck that had like 60, or she had a match where she had like 65 armor. That's crazy. 65 armor for one game. I thought warriors were crazy. And then, yeah, Tainted Remnant, if you played an elemental last turn, deals 7 damage randomly split between all enemies. So this one is very, very bursty. And it's not rocket science with this one. This one's just, hey, listen, turn 1, you play an elemental. Turn 2, guess what? You're going to play an elemental. Turn 3, you're going to play an elemental. It's just rinse and repeat and keep on going. Deck is very easy to pilot, and it is very fun to play. Last thing that we're going to talk about, that's 4 decks. We're going to talk about just some of the cards that have been seen in the last 7 days. So I just pulled last 7 days of data, just neutral cards. I'm not talking about anything else. I just want to see where Zilliax is. Look, Zilliax is in 53.1% of the decks. That's huge. Marin, also very popular. I think Marin's a little broken, and if you're on social media, some other people are agreeing that, hey, some of the card draw, 0 mana, cost cards from it is a little broken. Miracle Salesman is, when this one leaves standard, there's going to be a lot of people upset because this is going to hurt. This is in every other deck that I've seen the past couple of weeks. Greedy Partner, that one's a little interesting. Gorgonzormu's at 22.5%. If Zilliax wasn't in, I think Gorgonzormu would be in more often. Absolutely. So that's one is the one I'm telling you about. It's a great card to be playing. And then Reno. Reno's in 19% of all decks. Now, I haven't seen a lot of Highlander decks at all. I know there's Highlander decks out there right now, but I haven't seen it. And then Gold Panther, ETC, Yogg-Saron. So you know what all of these. Cool thing is some of these are going to go away in a couple of months. Dirty Rat also is at 14%. Let's see what some of the lowest ones are. Show sparse data. Baku, not worried about. Cactus Ranger, Careless Machinist, Dread Deserter. Yeah, some of these. I thought this one would be awesome. Dread Deserter. It's not. Grim Totem Buzzkill, Discover, the Obsessive Fan. Yeah, you don't need to see any of this. There's nothing else to see here. Zilliax is in 53.1% of decks right now. That is nuts. That is crazy. That's all I have this week. Hope you have a fun week playing the standard ladder. Don't forget the season resets like tomorrow and the next day, so that should be pretty fun. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll talk to you in the next video.